you're not Target, you're you. You're creating something unique, it's crafted by hand, and it deserves to be priced accordingly. Welcome to Hey Beautiful Creative, the podcast designed to inspire and empower creative entrepreneurs just like you. Whether you're a full-time artist or crafter, a side hustler, or someone dreaming of starting your own creative business, this show is your new best friend, here to support and encourage you on your journey in creative entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Tori Nguyen. With over 2 decades of experience selling my handmade goods online, to boutiques, and at markets, I've been where you are and I'm here to help you grow. My best friend and I also own 2 retail stores and organize large craft markets, which gives me a unique perspective on combining creativity with effective business strategies from both sides of the table. Each week we'll dive into practical business and marketing tips, inspiring artist interviews, and the motivation you need to take your creative dreams and make them your reality. Whether you're looking to boost your confidence, refine your business skills, or take actionable steps toward your goals, this podcast will leave you energized and ready to chase your dreams. Hey, beautiful creative! Welcome to the show. I've really been enjoying sitting down each week and writing and recording these episodes, and I'm so grateful to you for listening. So thank you for being here and for coming along on this journey with me. I hope that each week you're taking away something that helps you move forward with your creative business. So you've made something beautiful and you're putting it out into the world, but how much should you charge for it? Will people actually pay that? Who's going to buy it? Pricing your work is one of those tricky activities where, in my opinion, the perfect solution is part math and part intuition. There's nuance involved, and I know that can feel overwhelming. Today I'm going to break down some of the biggest mistakes I see creatives making with their pricing and share a few strategies to help you start feeling more confident. This episode is going to be helpful whether you've been in business for a while or if you're just starting out. Here's what we'll cover. Common pricing mistakes that creative entrepreneurs make, strategies for setting prices with more confidence, and tips for positioning your products so they're more likely to sell. Before we dive in, if you haven't identified your ideal customer yet or created an ideal customer avatar, I have a free worksheet for you that goes along with episode 5. It was Finding Your Ideal Customer. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, go check it out and then head to heybeautifulcreative.com/ICA, like Ideal Customer Avatar, and grab that free worksheet. heybeautifulcreative.com/ICA for your free Ideal Customer Worksheet, because knowing who you're selling to is going to make pricing so much easier. Let's look at some common pricing mistakes that I see creative entrepreneurs making. Mistake number 1, underpricing. This one is one of my biggest pet peeves because underpricing hurts everyone. I'm going to say that again. Underpricing your work hurts everyone. And you might be thinking, Tori, what are you even talking about? But hear me out. When you underprice your work, it hurts you, it hurts your business, and it even hurts other makers. When you charge too little, you're not earning what you deserve, you're not able to reinvest and grow your business, and you're setting a low bar for the entire handmade community and undercutting people who are trying to make a living selling their work. Underpricing your work is also a quick recipe for burnout. You might sell more products if they're cheap, but then you're hustling to make more and to keep up, and you're not able to adequately compensate yourself for your time. So think about it this way. If you raise your prices a little bit, you might sell fewer products, but you'll actually make the same amount of money without having to hustle so hard. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I think so. Why do you think people underprice their work? often I think it's fear. I think it's the fear that no one will buy your work at a higher price. It also might be a lack of awareness. Maybe you're only calculating the cost of materials without accounting for your time, your business expenses, and leaving room for profit. Sometimes it's comparing your handmade work to mass-produced goods that you see like at Target or Amazon, but you're not Target, you're you. You're creating something unique, it's crafted by hand, and it deserves to be priced accordingly. Mistake number 2 is ignoring perceived value. If something's priced too cheaply, customers assume it's not high quality, and you want your prices to communicate value, that your work is worth cherishing. You made it, it came from you, it has value. This is a great opportunity to weave in storytelling to educate your customers about your brand, your process, your values. Your stories add value to your products. And remember, people buy based on feelings. So they're not just buying your items, they're buying the whole story and the feeling that they get. Mistake number 3, not preparing for growth. Maybe you don't want to sell wholesale now, so you didn't price your products to account for wholesale selling. But if you ever change your mind or you're approached by a store and you actually do want to sell with them, you'll need your numbers to have wholesale pricing built in, because pricing too tightly today can cut off opportunities tomorrow. Mistake number 4 I see is inconsistent pricing. You want to be sure you're keeping your prices the same on your website, at your market booths, and everywhere that you sell directly to customers. I know if you're selling in retail shops, you don't have control over what price they charge in the end, but that's where having a suggested retail price can help. And also, if you've appropriately priced your goods and you're keeping it consistent, you'll probably be pretty close to where those retail stores are selling your work. You definitely don't want to really undercut them. So do your best to keep pricing consistent across all avenues. That consistency builds trust with your customers. Nobody wants to buy something at a market and then find out later that it was cheaper online, or vice versa. You want to keep those prices the same everywhere. Mistake number 5, not raising your prices over time. The costs of materials, shipping, all of your living expenses, everything is going up, as we all know. Now we have tariffs to deal with and getting our supplies, so all of your costs are going up. And also, the further you get in your business, the more your expertise grows and the more your experience grows, and that's worth something too. So if you haven't reviewed your prices in the last 6 months, it's probably time. In our retail shops, we're not shy about telling our vendors if we think their prices are too low. And you know what the number 1 response is? They say, "I'm afraid my regular customers will get mad if I raise the price." And here's the thing, most people won't notice. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, but really everyone is so involved with what's going on in their own lives that they're not going to notice if your prices go up by $1 or $2 or $3. Or if you're selling a larger, higher ticket item, they're not going to notice $5 or $10. They just won't. And especially in a retail setting, like people are just shopping. If they like this ceramic item, whether it's $14 or $16, that's not going to make a big difference to them. I think if they like it and they connect with it, they're going to buy it anyway. But if you are feeling afraid of that, if any of your customers do complain that your prices have gone up, you can just explain to them very politely that the cost of everything has increased and that in order to continue doing business in a way that's sustainable, you needed to raise your prices just a little bit. And I'm pretty sure that everyone who is reasonable will understand. Also, if they're fans of your work, I think they will be happy to support you in what you're doing. So don't be afraid to raise your prices. Here's a helpful mindset shift if you need one. Price for sustainability, not for quick sales. Customers who value handmade and creative work are out there, and they need you to set the tone for them with confident pricing. Price for sustainability and long-term growth for yourself and your business, not for quick sales. So now let's talk about moving from mistakes to confidence. Here are my strategies for confident pricing. One of the most important things to remember is that your price needs to cover more than just materials. You also need to account for your time, packaging, any business overhead, and other supplies, and allow space for business growth. There's a straightforward formula that I teach that helps you calculate a solid wholesale and retail price so you know that you're not just breaking even, you're building sustainability. I'm not going to go into the step-by-step numbers here because I think that would be hard to listen to, but I am hosting a workshop, so keep listening for more details. I want you to know there is a reliable way to set your prices that gives you clarity and confidence. Beyond the numbers, though, pricing is also about positioning. So you can ask yourself, where do I want my brand to sit in the marketplace? Here's where your market research comes in handy. You'll want to know what similar brands are charging for their products so you can determine where you want to place yourself amongst them in the eyes of the consumers. Do you want to be the most expensive? Do you want to be the cheapest? Or do you want to fall somewhere in the middle? Then think about, how do I want customers to perceive my business? Do I want them to find it affordable and accessible? Or am I going for a higher end exclusive aesthetic? Think about how you want your brand to be perceived. If you want some help with branding, go back and listen to episode 6. That's what it's all about. If you're selling something exclusive in a limited quantity, or if you want to position yourself as a higher end brand and you're giving your customers a special experience, you would price your products on the upper end of the pricing spectrum. That's pretty straightforward, and you probably know that, but I'm pointing it out because sometimes those simple things are the ones that really slip us by, or we think that everything needs to be more difficult than it actually is. I'm definitely someone who overcomplicates things from time to time. The third thing to think about is, what does my ideal customer value most when they're shopping? Why do they buy your products? What experience do they want when they're buying from you? If you make jewelry and your ideal customer is a teenager, they're probably not able to spend as much on a piece of jewelry as someone who's in the middle of their career and has more disposable income. In that case, you may want to position yourself as an affordable brand, going for more volume with lower pricing. But again, not too low. Don't undercut yourself or other makers. So all of these questions will help you use your intuition and the more nuanced side of positioning alongside the math and the formulaic calculations for pricing. Pricing is more than just a formula. It's also about how you want your brand to feel. Here's one last tip. If your products aren't selling, instead of immediately lowering your prices, try raising them just a little. I know it sounds backwards, but sometimes the higher prices actually attract more serious buyers because of the way people associate value with cost. So the next time you're tempted to lower your prices, try just bumping them up a little and see how that goes. You can always drop them down later. If this conversation has you thinking, okay, I really need to get a handle on my prices, and also figure out how to confidently sell without feeling pushy or awkward. If that's you, then I'd love to invite you to my upcoming workshop, Fearless Selling for Creatives: How to Price and Sell Your Work Confidently. In this workshop, we'll go deeper into some basic pricing formulas. I'll walk you through how to calculate your own prices step by step, and then we'll talk about how to actually sell your work, both in person and online, without the fear, without the awkwardness, and with so much more confidence. You'll leave with numbers that make sense for your business and a strategy to finally feel good about selling your work. You can grab your spot at heybeautifulcreative.com/fearless. heybeautifulcreative.com/fearless. I would love to see you there, so save your spot today. I have a quick question for you before we go. Do you have a friend who could really benefit from hearing this episode? Maybe someone who struggles with feeling confident about pricing their work or putting themselves out there? Take a minute and send this to them with a little note. Hey, I heard this and thought of you. That will help me help more artists and makers grow their confidence, make more money, and expand their businesses. I want more of you out there. I want more of us out there doing our thing, making the world glow. I really appreciate you, and I want to see all of you thrive. I hope you leave today feeling more confident in how you're putting yourself out there and putting your work in the world, knowing that you can price and position your products just perfectly so that your ideal customers can't resist them. Thank you so much for listening. Until next week, keep on making your work beautiful, creative. See you soon. If you enjoyed this episode or found it helpful, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would write a review, share it on your socials, or forward it to a friend. Be sure to subscribe or follow the show wherever you listen to your podcasts so you don't miss out on upcoming episodes. And check out heybeautifulcreative.com for more resources designed to help you take your creative dreams and turn them into your reality. See you next week.